Welcome to The Explainer. I'm so thrilled you're here today because we're tackling something that literally affects every single one of us, our daily food. Now, we all know Malaysian cuisine is just incredible, right? It's this vibrant, deeply historic blend of Malay, Chinese, Indian, and indigenous Bornean flavors. It's absolutely delicious and, frankly, incredibly hard to resist. I mean, especially when you catch that smell of Nasi Lemak in the morning or get tempted by a late-night mamak session. But it's also brought us to a really critical crossroads. Today, we're setting the stage to explore how we can actually continue to enjoy our mouth-watering local food while taking control of a pretty serious national health crisis. And the best part? We're going to do it using a simple, actionable, and highly visual plate method that completely changes the game. Okay, let's dive into this. 50.1%. This number right here is a stark reality check. According to the 2019 National Health and Morbidity Survey, exactly half, literally 1 in 2 Malaysian adults are currently overweight or obese. Just think about that for a second. The next time you're out and about, look around. This statistic means that half of our adult population is carrying excess weight that puts them at a serious risk for long-term chronic conditions. It establishes an absolute, undeniable, and urgent need for a change in how we approach our daily meals. And right alongside that first number, we have this alarming secondary statistic. A massive 95% of Malaysian adults do not consume the daily recommended amount of fruits and vegetables. 95%! We're essentially eating diets that are super heavy in fats and simple carbs, but severely lacking in the essential fibers, vitamins, and minerals our bodies desperately need to thrive. If we want to reverse that 50.1% obesity rate, fixing this massive vegetable deficit is exactly where we need to start. Section 1. Concept suku-suku separuh, or the quarter-quarter-half concept. So how does this quarter-quarter-half, or suku-suku separuh concept actually work? Well, think of this not as some stricter, restrictive diet, but as the ultimate visual tool for planning balanced meals. It takes all the guesswork out of calorie counting by simply asking you to look at the proportions on your plate. And this brilliantly illustrates the first step. Exactly 1/4 of your plate should be dedicated to carbohydrates. We're talking about complex carbs here, things like rice, noodles, wholemeal bread, or other whole grains. Filling just 1/4 of your space with these items ensures you're getting the sustained energy you need to power through your day without overloading your system with excess sugars that eventually just store as fat. Now we move to the absolute most crucial part of the plate. You need to fill a full half of it entirely with vegetables and 1 serving of fruit. Remember that 95% statistic we just talked about? Well, this is the direct cure. Loading up half your meal with greens and fruits ensures your body is flooded with sufficient dietary fiber, essential vitamins, and vital minerals. And to complete the math, that final remaining quarter is reserved for your healthy proteins. So fish, lean chicken, or tofu, perfectly rounding out a balanced meal. Let's quickly summarize what actually happens to your body when you adopt this model. By balancing your macronutrients this way, you actually prevent extreme hunger and that awful mid-afternoon fatigue, ensuring you keep sustained mental focus all day. Even more importantly, maintaining a healthy weight through this method drastically lowers your risk of non-communicable diseases, or NCDs, like type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease. Plus, prioritizing those whole grains and fiber-rich vegetables incredibly improves your gut health, feeding all that beneficial bacteria and keeping your digestive system running smoothly. Section 2. Cadangan menu makanan harian and smart swaps. But how do we actually apply this in the real world, especially when we're constantly surrounded by such tempting local food? Let's start with breakfast. We all know and love a beloved staple like Roti Canai, but it's made from refined flour and heavily pan-fried in ghee. Consuming this daily is pretty much a fast track to high cholesterol and heart risks. But swapping that out for a Thosai or a chapati, that is a massive upgrade. A single Thosai sits under 200 kilocalories and is incredibly nutritious because it's made from a fermented batter of rice, split black lentils, and fenugreek seeds. It's just so much kinder to our heart and our waistline while still giving you that super satisfying, savory morning bite. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer math of our lunch choices. Take a standard Nasi Lemak served with fried chicken, a fried egg, and sweet sambal. That one single serving packs over 800 calories and a staggering 67 grams of fat, with almost 0 vegetables. But if you swap that for Nasi Kerabu, that beautiful blue rice dish mixed with a mountain of fresh raw herbs, vegetables, toasted coconut, and paired with some grilled chicken, you drop all the way down to roughly 380 calories. That is a huge savings of over 400 calories and 58 grams of fat, all while hugely boosting your daily fiber intake. To put this all into perspective, let's walk through a sample 1,600 kilocalorie day. Notice right away that healthy eating does not mean starving yourself. Not at all. It's about structuring 3 main meals and adding 1 or 2 healthy snacks to keep your metabolism active and prevent you from overeating later. You can totally still have your rice vermicelli for breakfast, maybe a red bean bun for a mid-morning snack, and proper fulfilling rice-based meals for lunch and dinner. The secret is just portion control and balancing everything out according to that quarter-half method. And just as important as what you eat is when you eat. The biological importance of meal timing is huge. You should really aim to eat breakfast before 8:30 a.m. because that's exactly when your body's metabolic rate is peaking. Skipping it often leads to intense cravings later on and heavily spikes your risk for obesity. Lunch sits perfectly between noon and 2 p.m. And finally, dinner needs to be consumed 3 to 4 hours before your bedtime. Doing this gives your digestive system ample time to process the food, so you aren't just storing all that excess energy as fat while you sleep.
Section 3, Tip memasak dan minuman sihat, healthy cooking and beverages.
We've talked a lot about what to eat and when to eat it, but the cooking methods we choose absolutely matter too. Traditional methods like deep frying or cooking heavily in coconut milk, or santan, introduce massive amounts of hidden calories and saturated fats right into our diet. Instead, we really want to lean into steaming, boiling, or grilling. For example, choosing a beautifully steamed snapper or tilapia packed with herbs and ginger perfectly preserves the natural proteins and omega-3 fatty acids of the fish while significantly cutting down on unhealthy fats compared to a deep-fried alternative. And then we have to talk about our drinks. I want to deliver a pretty stark warning here. Just 1 single teaspoon of sugar packs exactly 20 kilocalories. Think about your daily iced tea or local coffee. If the vendor pumps in 3 or 4 spoonfuls of sugar or a heavy pour of condensed milk, you are basically drinking a calorie bomb before you even take a single bite of actual food. So the crucial point is that we must build better hydration and flavor habits. Plain water or air kosong should always be your primary beverage, period. We need to completely avoid those ready-to-drink sweetened beverages sitting in the convenience store. And when it comes to cooking at home, here's a really fascinating tip. Start leveraging umami seasonings. Using pure umami can dramatically enhance the natural flavors of your food. It allows you to significantly lower your salt intake without sacrificing any of that rich, robust taste that Malaysian dishes are so famous for.
Section 4, Amalan Gaya Hidup Berpanjangan, sustainable healthy lifestyle practices.
These dietary adjustments, they aren't just a temporary fix or a fad diet. They are the essential foundation for a vibrant, long-lasting healthy lifestyle. And honestly, that lifestyle starts at home and in our schools. Empowering our families by just eating meals together at home cements good nutritional habits early on. Furthermore, introducing our youth to STEM-based health education, much like the fantastic NutriBite school program run by local universities, teaches kids how to properly read nutrition labels, understand the food pyramid, and even calculate their own BMI. Because when kids actually understand the science behind their food, they make better choices for life. Which brings us to the end of the explainer, and I want to leave you with a direct, enthusiastic challenge today. Apakah menu suku-suku separuh Anda hari ini? What is your quarter-half menu today? I really encourage you to take everything we've talked about, the smart swaps, the mindful cooking methods, the balanced portions, and apply this super simple visual plate model to your very next meal. Because you absolutely have the power to change your health 1 plate at a time. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll catch you next time.